All right, Sistas fans. So, Angela, my goodness. Hey, Gary, do you mind hitting me up and sliding me the number to your therapist? I think I wouldn't mind, or I think I need a couple of sessions, one-on-one time. But I think it's plain to see that Andy was speaking truth to Angela, or excuse me, to Gary about Angela and her intentions. Like basically, Gary, any woman that wants to get into your fiance's bed with you is trying to sleep with you. And Gary wasn't trying to hear that because apparently Angela read Andy's script, or excuse me, Angela read KJ's script and told Gary exactly what Andy was going to say before Andy says it. And it's a question of who is he going to believe, and he definitely felt like he was going to believe the therapist. And obviously he's still upset about the Robin situation, so he's just gonna not even get involved with Andy and go talk to his therapist. Now go back to season 1. This seems like the reverse of when Andy was talking to Morris, and Gary was jealous, and he has a bad track record at this point. I think it was the episode where Fatima, Andy got let go or suspended or something. Fatima brings over a cart with all of Andy's belongings from the office, and Gary actually pops out and surprises her, and tries to say, "Hey, here's some money, forgive me." And it turns out that she just decides to rub the Morris thing in his face, and he's all, "Hey, look, Morris is bad news. He has a bad reputation." Gary's telling the truth, but again, with his track record, Andy just suspects he's doing this out of pure jealousy. So, as we move on from there, you get Morris trying to sexually assault Andy in the back of the parking lot, and Gary saves her. Now, it seems like the reverse is true, where Angela's coming on to Gary, and it looks like Gary obviously can handle himself, but based on the preview for next week, it looks like he jumps up because it starts off with, Andy is 30 minutes out, which again, I say could just mean 30 seconds, not 30 minutes. She said she's in her car, but that doesn't mean she is 30 minutes away from the apartment. She could be in the parking lot, and it's like, well, hey, I'm actually in my car about to come up. So from there, thinking it's 30 minutes, she's like, okay, well, we got time for another exercise. Exercise. That's a good way of phrasing it, Angela. So, how do you release your guilt? What do you do when you feel guilty, about certain things happening? You know what? I don't release my guilt. I ball it up inside. And as his eyes are closed, she starts feeling on his arms like, do you feel guilty now? No, there's nothing to feel guilty about right now. Okay, what about if I did this? So she literally puts her head on his lap like she's about to give him head, and the episode cuts. So in the preview, it seems like he's jumping back from her, given the distance between where he's standing and where she's sitting on the bar stool. And I mean, Angela goes so far as to say that maybe Andy, she isn't what you want. And then Andy, comes in looking like she slams the door to break up this little meeting. And obviously she's probably pissed about this scenario, which leads to her being pushed to going to the hotel to have dinner, and then eventually going up to the room to see Robin, which again proves nothing other than she always has a fall guy. Whenever she's having an out with Gary, she just goes to old reliable. So I think that Robin said he's going back to London tomorrow, hence why he asked her to dinner to begin with. She's going to have a falling out with Gary again, go to see Robin, and then let's say if Robin is still feeling Andy, she's going to be like, oh, well, you see, I'm actually working things out with my fiance. And then, he's just the runner-up, if you will, just a rebound guy, kind of like what Aaron was to Karen. And, well, we know how that situation's going right now, but I will save that for another video. I just feel like Andy's in the pattern. Don't get me wrong, Karen has become hell of annoying in recent episodes based on this whole I gotta get closure from Zach thing. But remember, Andy's been doing the same dance with Gary since season 1. But when it comes to this situation, yeah, this therapist definitely wants more than a one-on-one session with Gary. It definitely feels like she's targeting him, and he's the victim in all this. But we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. Angela's fine as hell, though, I will say that much. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think Gary is the victim here? Do you think Andi is going to understand? Obviously, I think that's a no, given the fact that she's going to meet up with Robin. But yeah, I just am interested to see what's going to happen, because this looks bad. This is the second time Andi comes home and finds Gary in a compromising position with his quote-unquote therapist. So does this therapist want Gary? Obviously, it doesn't seem like he wants her, but we'll just have to wait and see. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are Angela's true intentions with Gary? As always, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out when I post content on the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.